you?
I am wonderful, Gerald. How are you today?
I am great. I am very glad to be here with you.
Oh,
Everyone, this is my guest, medium Betsy Palmer. Please show her love, like and subscribe to her channel. And this is a twofer day because this is a laugh and learn and a magic tool talk. So, and today we are talking about the bay leaf and its magical and its in its uses. I won't say magical, but
it's
okay.
myriad of uses.
Yes. And everybody who is here, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel because in 2 weeks, on the 27th, we have another Laugh and Learn with Chris Yao, Barely Balanced Tarot, and we are actually doing, yeah, shielding. We're talking
Shielding.
about shielding, so it's a good conversation. So,
And
um,
Gerald, thank you so much for hosting this talk. This was something, the minute I heard Gerald talking about bay leaf, it was like ears up. Doink. Excuse
and
me?
yeah, well, and I have to say, one of the things that we're doing is because Betsy, we've had this scheduled for
Mhm.
about a month out.
Yeah.
And what's wonderful is we are, you sent me some questions, things that you wanted to learn about, and then you sent some again. And those are very similar. I have notes and I have a whole lot of books here that I want to reference. And so this is information sharing for entertainment purposes only. I am not an herbologist. The only thing I'm licensed to do is drive it where I live. So that's the only thing that I'm able to do. How about we say hi to some people?
That sounds great.
Teresa is here. Hello, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa. You were
Beth.
here early. Thank you.
Yes, Beth, Aspasia Rising.
Hi, Beth. Good to see you again. I saw her earlier this morning.
Yes, Lisa Rhodes is here. Hello.
Lisa, I think I saw
And
you.
yes, and I believe is it Lise is here. Hello.
Hi.
Andrea, Lori Kramer, hello. And Emerald Buddha, hello.
Hi.
Oh, very funny Seinfeld episode. Hello. My name is pronounced
Hello.
Lisa.
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 Excellent. Thank you.
Lisa. Okay. And well, I'm hoping that I will be able to tell you what I know about bay leaves and through my experience in some great books that are around.
Hen's here too.
Who is?
Hen. Gen Science to Soul to Row. Hi, Hen.
Hey, good to see you, Jen. Shaw Woman is here. Hello.
Hi, Shaw Woman.
And
Oh, I love that name.
Jonathan Daly is here. Hello. Thank you for
Brother.
joining us. All right. So, I'm balancing a couple of things, so this is great. And Nancy Paper Moon Tarot is here.
Hi.
Hello. Hello, hello. So, Andrea says, I dabble in herbs. Okay.
Yay.
And Tony is here. Antoinette, Intuitive Tarot and Jewelry. So,
Oh, hello.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I didn't ask you to prepare for this, but is there a specific interest that you have in bay and learning about bay leaves?
What really sparked my interest was when you mentioned that you will write your intention on the bay leaf and burn it, because I am so motivated by intention setting and burning stuff. That is my big go-to. Intention setting and burning. And before we came on live, I told Gerald that my mom used bay leaf in everything. She loved to cook. She put bay leaf in everything. And my sister also used to burn bay leaf in a house she used to live in, and she wasn't sure why she did it. She was just moved to do it.
Wonderful. Wow. Okay.
So, yes.
So, well, I have a sort of, I don't have a sort of, I have a structure for things that we're going to talk about, including the questions that Betsy asked. So, Peter J. Watts is here. Hello, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
And Pierrette is here. Hello.
Hello.
And for people with allergies to smoke, you can make a smokeless bundle with laurel and bay leaves and wave it over your body like burning bundle without the smoke. There you go.
There you go. That's awesome. One of my favorite oils is laurel leaf. It it's like courage going into stuff.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. And Calla Lizzie is here. Hello.
Hello.
So all right. So
yeah, and Tony, you don't light it, according to Jonathan. You do you wave it on you, wave it around you as you would.
Yes. And so, again, this is for entertainment purposes only. We're going to tell you, make your own decisions. How's that? You do you. So, pyromania. I do like to burn things a little bit. Peggy Lou Levens is here. Hello.
Hey.
And laurel and bay are the same thing. Oftentimes, yes, because it's there, depending upon what you look at. And I will pull out some of the resources. Yes, they can be.
Is it the same plant?
Yes, I believe. Again, someone like Peter, who is a bit more knowledgeable than me, might be able to say, but.
So, now I wish I hadn't used up all my laurel leaf oil.
So, okay. So, Kathy Tortoiseshell Moon is here. Hello.
Hey.
Now, I want to talk about culinary uses for bay leaves. And one of the resources that some of you may have is this Joy of Cooking book. And there's a section in it. And I'm just going to read a little bit. They refer to it as bay or bay laurel. So, and it talks about from what it's for, but it's alternate. What you do is you use it for. It's a pungent and complex taste, something between eucalyptus, mint, lemon, and fresh cut grass. And so it's from the Know Your Ingredients section of that. So how old is that book? It's actually, I bought it in Christmas of 1999. So hi, Jackie Smith.
Hi, Jackie Smith. I'm reading Beth's post here.
Laurus nobilis is an evergreen tree or larger shrub, flowering, native to Mediterranean, used as bay leaf for cooking. Thank you. There you go. The interwebs is a very good thing. And so if you are the Joy of Cooking, I think, was first published in 1950. Do you ever go to those used book sales and you see these little books, these cookbooks that families put together or churches put together? And this is one that I purchased, and it actually has an everyday herb guide in it, because Betsy and I were talking. I am not very good with herbs or understanding how to use them or what to what they go with. However, I will tell you, it says here, bay, it's It's found in Turkey, Yugoslavia, Portugal, and Greece. It is green, aromatic leaf or of laurel tree, has pungent flavor, and it tastes good with vegetable and fish soups, tomato sauces and juice, poached fish, meat stews, and it is available as a whole leaf. Usually, you would get it as a whole leaf. So, and so, and for those, I just realized if you don't know what a bay leaf looks like, oftentimes we get them like this. They're dried, and I have just dropped a bunch of them. They come in various sizes, and you can use these for all of these things. So there's that, and hang on, I just dropped a couple, and I don't want to smush them. So you said your mother used bay in everything.
Everything. Yeah, I was joking. She put it in everything, not in pancakes or pastry, but if she could have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I do, and I got this from, and this is just Gerald, I got this from America's Test Kitchen. There was talk about bay leaves, and they were making fun. Why would you use it? It's like, well, you actually have to use multiple bay leaves to get the maximum amount of flavor. So, and Beth said, I always cook with 4 bay leaves, one representing each of my children. I would feed. I like that.
I love that.
I like that. Well, and I'll tell you what I do is when I'm cooking with bay leaves or I'm doing magical uses, I usually do them. I do a minimum of 3 usually for maid, mother, crone, or the 3 aspects, Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, whatever. And 3 is a good number. But jumping ahead, I would also I would pick the number of bay leaves to burn based upon the working that I was doing. So if I was trying to disrupt something, perhaps I might burn 5 bay leaves. If I were wanting to bring a balance to something, perhaps it would be an even number. So, and Nancy Paper Moon Tarot asked, bay and basil are slightly different. Yes, they are. There's 2 entries here. Anyhow, so thus concludes the culinary uses, unless I can think of anything else. They're good for things like pot roast, meat dishes, soups, sauces, and you can combine it with parsley and thyme for a bouquet garni, which is something you put a bunch of herbs together and you put it in your sauce.
Right.
So
right.
there you go.
Right.
So,
right.
And Jen Signs to Soul and Tarot said, I never cooked with bay leaves. Then again, I don't really cook. So
Problem
there you go.
solved.
Yep. Okay. So I often add them to my stews and sauces. Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Kiba.
Hi, Kiba.
So, and yeah, bay leaves are typically for flavor, and before you serve, you remove them. So we did culinary uses. Let's talk about healing uses. Now, healing uses, again, for entertainment purposes only. One of the books that I have, or actually Jeffrey has, it's the PDR for herbal medicines. And this is the 4th edition. It is now out of print, sorry. And they show a picture of the laurel right there. So that's what it looks like. And then it says in here, are you familiar with the PDR, the Physician's Desk Reference book?
Yep.
It goes into a lot of information about them. And it is a lot of the time, the medicinal parts are the leaves, the fruit, and the oil.
Mhm.
So there's oil that'll be helpful. I am not going to read all of this, but there are some, you know, don't do anything without a doctor's permission. So, okay, that being said, because this is where it's interesting, Betsy, because the healing uses and the magical uses oftentimes go hand in hand.
Makes sense.
Surprises nobody. These are some books that I have that I appreciate because these are things that I look at for herbal remedies. This is the Master Book of Herbalism.
Ooh.
I do not know if this is still in print, but Bay Laurel, and this book actually talks about the lore of it and the remedial. So, and it says here, um, there's some cautionary tales about taking too much of the oil, just like with anything.
Yeah.
But it's also very, very good use is a remedy for bruises to help with bruises and damaged muscles. And could also be, it's it can be a stimulant of some kind. So I have not done this. I've heard about actually making bay water, where what you do is you put dried bay leaves in water and you boil it for a couple of minutes, and then you allow it to steep as it cools, and then that water can be used for other things, but it's also said to be, it's okay, I feel like I'm rambling, but it's supposed to be good for digestion. And if you add it into like a cinnamon tea, it can also have the benefit for that. So,
Ooh. Ooh.
but
This is wonderful.
yes. Beth said, I always use a bouquet garnet. Okay. And Beth said, Paul was my first astrologer back in the late 1970s in Minneapolis. He wrote that book, Blast from the Past. Wow.
That's
So,
cool.
yes.
Very cool.
My little herb book talks about Mediterranean Bay and California Bay. Yes.
Oh.
And so one of the things that I encourage people to do is when you're wanting to pay attention to different uses for herbs, pay attention to all of the warnings because they're there for a reason, and also pay attention to how you respond to it. Start out small and then build up.
Yes.
Hashtag for entertainment purposes only, etc.
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
when we were teenagers, didn't we all eat one brownie and an hour later decide we better eat another? We all learned that lesson the hard way.
Yeah. Okay. The bay leaf oil is very good for bruises, and it's an anti-inflammatory, antibiotic. It's good for the immune system, and so that's very helpful.
Bruises. Now you've got my attention again because I bruise pretty easily at my age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is that like you ingest it or you use it in a poultice?
You would use it in like with oils or a poultice.
I'm
so
good
external use only.
Poultice. External only. Yeah, I've got a little jar of special mud to whip up a poultice. I did that with horses for 20-something years, so that's kind of it's in my blood now.
There you go. This is also a very good book. This is Scott Cunningham. It's Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. Ooh. And one of the things that I appreciate about this is he goes through and gives the folk names, the gender, the planet, the element associated with, and the deities. He gives the powers and then the ritual uses, and then the magical uses. So,
Ooh, let's see the cover of that again, because
okay, hang on. Beth wanted to see this one. This was Master Book of Herbalism.
Yep. Because
And this,
I'm not taking any notes, so I can be present. I'm going to
yes.
go through the playback and write my notes. Cunningham's
So,
Encyclopedia of
of
Magical
magical
Herbs.
herbs. And
I'm
this is by Scott Cunningham.
I'm getting that one. That is a definite. It's
I
got
really,
everything in one book.
yes. And I appreciate it because Cunningham also does illustrations. So it's very, very helpful. So there we go. And I'm just going to also I'm going to sort of go into some of the magical uses, the generic magical uses. And think about with you remember there were laurel crowns given to royalty. And
Mm-hmm.
so those were bay laurel. So think about all of the association of the bay laurel and associated with that. Those are also the magical uses for it. And essentially, Cunningham talks specifically about protection, psychic powers, healing, purification, and strength. So I think this is one of those things where, okay, for me, bay leaves are the clear quartz of the herb world for me. Clear quartz magnifies and augments whatever you're doing. And so I think bay leaves for me, and for my personal use, that's how I use them. They're an extension and they just augment everything. So now I also wanted to show one more pair of books. It is a Modern Herbal. It's in 2 volumes. There you go. There your responsibility, purchase responsibly. And in this one, there's talk about it, but they also give a bit more description about the plant size and the medicinal action and uses, and a variety of some of the lore around it. Because the the Delphic priestesses would actually would smell the smoke, and it would cause hallucinogenic effects or psychic abilities. It would enhance psychic abilities. So we have Betsy's attention. She's going, oh, yes. Yes. So I'm going to pause for a second and ask people in chat. Those of you, have you used bay for magical purposes?
Yeah, I would like to know. I would like to know that too. What your intention was, or what you feel is your go-to when you're using bay leaf. What's your go-to reason in magic? I am just so fascinated with this now. It's
yeah. And so Tony said yes, every moon phase. So
wow.
And and there's, again, I have so many notes. It's incredible. So Calla Lizzie said no magic, just cooking. And I'm going to be a smarty and go, well, isn't that magic when you're putting things together and making something even better?
It's time to rewatch like Water for Chocolate. Just saying.
Jonathan says, I have written on bay leaves and then burned them to release the magic inside. Yes.
Which brings us to why this conversation began. Gerald, I heard him mention that, and I was like, oh, wait a minute.
We got to do that. Yeah. And Beth said, I have written on a leaf and burned it. I use it with intention in my cooking, and it feels like I'm blessing my food. Yes. Cooking is magical. So, and
indeed.
Yes, I cook like magic. There you go. So, um, so okay, it's oh, there you go. Beth is like, have to share. It is my privilege to extend a Laurel and Hardy handshake. Mel Brooks. I love me some Mel Brooks. Love me some Mel Brooks. So, um, and by the way, the leaves that you use for magical purposes can be the same leaves that you use for cooking, for culinary purposes. So,
This
um,
is, this is really nice and simple because even like we're so used to lavender, like being such an
mhm,
all-purpose heavy duty, but there's so many varieties, and the ones that are culinary don't do this and that, and the oils and the perfumes and you've got to really know it's like a whole enterprise in itself just with lavender.
yes. Justin Michael is here. Hello, Justin. Good to see you. Glad
Hi.
to have you lurking. Lots of people lurking. And so this is how I store my bay leaves. My bay leaves are in, this is actually was for tea, but and I actually store this in close to the area where I do most of my daily magic. And so they're just in here. And so you can get bay leaves anywhere you can get bay leaves. I do recommend trying to get organic, and that's always helpful. So, but I have, and
Organic
um,
would be nice, wouldn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think this is one of those things. It's one of those things that if you're not sure you're going to use them, then just go to the store and pick up some bay leaves in the jar. You're going to actually You're going to get some probably smaller than this because of the packaging size. And so do with that. Let me get caught up in chat.
Coyote the Gray
Um,
is a really good question.
okay, I'll get there. Tony said, I burn them with my intentions for new moons and full moons, also dark moons for specifics. Always cook winter stew pots with bay. Yes.
Okay, I like
And
that you can use that for intention setting. Yep.
yes. So if you cook with them and then dry them back, should you still burn them, or does the cooking use them up? That is a very good question. And if I have cooked them, here's what I would do for entertainment purposes only, is if I've cooked them in a stew, I probably wouldn't use them for burning. However, I have made tea with bay leaves and cinnamon, and those I have actually dried out because it's water and cinnamon, and those bay leaves have been charged with the magical power of cinnamon as well as bay.
Oh,
So I'm a person who I like to layer my magic whenever possible. So Coyote, if you do this, I'd love to know what happens for you. Because I have a whole lot of bay leaves with cinnamon in them. And think about that. What's the magical power of cinnamon adding to them? So, that said, I had a bay leaf tree in my backyard in the Bay Area, no pun intended. I would ask permission from the tree and take them off as needed.
oh, now see, I'm wondering if I can get a tree, if I can get a plant here. We're not allowed to have invasive species here, so I'll have to
Hmm.
see if there's any on island anywhere.
Yeah. Attracting abundance, yes. Brian, Blushing Nerd Tarot is here. Severe case of work lurk today. Busy, busy, busy. Such a cool topic. Well, I'm glad you're here watching this.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that was me over the
Yeah,
weekend. I missed everything. I was busy at work. I didn't get to lurk at all.
sure. I often use a rosemary as an all-arounder or mint. And I think mint is a wonderful thing because mint is so prolific. It's so good at law of attraction. So,
And
um,
rosemary, I've used rosemary for a whole lot of stuff around the
mhm,
house and for tea for an upset stomach. Fresh sprig, kind of steeped in hot water.
absolutely.
Yum.
And Beth said, interesting. You could add cayenne pepper to that cinnamon and bay mixture. Yes, I could. I did not do that because I was drinking the cinnamon and bay. I did not want to drink the cayenne pepper with that, but you could. So, Jackie Smith, hello,
Hi.
said, I like to write on bay leaves what I'm letting go of and then burn them. That
That's
is
awesome.
absolutely beautiful. And let's go to some of your questions, Betsy, because we're about 30 minutes in, and I want to make sure that I answer all of your questions. Again, these are my answers based upon my use of them and what I have found. So, can plants be used for the same things as crystals? I I use the example of it's like a quartz crystal, and it helps to augment. I believe that some plants can definitely be used in line with and in unison with. If you are smart with crystals and you are learning about herbs and their magical properties and their healing properties, I would definitely encourage you to play with that. So,
Cool.
did you have anything else in mind when you were asking that question?
No, I mean, I know obviously crystals and stones have properties, trees have properties. And so I was just in my head, I was trying to wrap around, would I substitute a plant for a crystal or vice versa, or would I use them together to magnify? If I use them together to magnify, is there a possibility to go overboard?
Well, in my personal opinion, there's always an opportunity to go overboard.
Yeah.
Um, that may be a bad thing. It could be a good thing. It could be exactly what you need. So
Okay.
this is where I think when people, this is what I have done. This is what I've learned is, and my high priestess has been very, very helpful with this. It's take notes of what you've done and what the results are. Get pieces of paper, write it down. What did you do? What was the result of it? It's a learning because your experience may be a little different than mine, but when we pay attention, we can learn.
And
We can definitely.
I just felt like I was in this dark mossy cottage somewhere, and this really old woman kind of bent over said, honey, everybody does their own magic their own way. There's no hard
Mhm.
and fast rule on this.
Yes. Well, say thank you. That's
Thank you.
very
Yeah,
wise.
thank you. Yeah.
Well, and it is because I do things a little differently when and I'll share with you for magical purposes. If somebody needs something, a bay leaf is something that I go to very quickly.
Yeah.
And I've been told that people who are sensitive can feel the power when I've used a bay leaf because oftentimes I will write on the bay leaf. I will speak words as I'm burning it, and it's really quite beautiful. It works well. So
I just got in this year. Thank you. Um, or wait, which ear? Left ear. Sorry, not right ear. Left ear. Receiving, not action. Left ear. That bay leaf is because it's so broad and like you said, like a clear quartz crystal, that you are using it with your intention, helpful intention, without a layering of a judgment or a
mhm,
description on top of it. That is
mhm,
some things that are used really specifically for specific reasons. Sometimes our heads say, well, that's because it's going to do this and that. And bay leaf is just like, I want to help someone. This is a general situation. Let's offer this. And so it's like completely unconditional.
Yes.
Dig it.
And yeah, and I think one of those things for me, and I am so grateful that I learned this early in my magical career, is it's a good go-to. So it's going to take whatever you put into it. So be careful and be thoughtful of what you put into it, because that's what you're going to get.
Yes.
And as we've said before, a wand is just an extension of your will. It helps to draw, to point the energy. I believe a bay leaf is extremely similar. It helps to do that.
I
So,
like that.
um,
That.
Andrea, I would, if that would be great to see your burning release ceremony. Betsy, your next question is what is bay leaf's primary use? What is its number one power? Well, I think most of the time for me, it's protection, and so its number one power is it's going to do whatever the heck I want it to do. Oftentimes for protection, psychic powers, it's very, very good at healing. My high priestess is extremely good at healing, and this is something that she uses. It's quite good for purification, and strength. If you want to have prophetic dreams, you could put Bay under your pillow, and that could help support that. And so I think there's interesting things that, so here's the thing. Its primary use, I would say, is protection and psychic powers and healing.
Okay. Thank you. That's great.
So, now protection is many things. And in some of the books that I've read, there's talk about that you could place bay leaves on windowsills to protect from lightning. Some of the old lore about them. It also would prevent mischief in that, because it's a bit of a boundary. So if you've got some things going on, they're being a little crazy, um, you know, there you go. It's so good with spell work. And I'll talk about that a little bit, about how to do some spell work. Um, so, okay. So we've got some great stuff in chat. Um, okay. Andrea is sharing the burning release ceremony. Go to tide line, dig hole in low tide, add herbs and written release, and light fire, burn in the hole. Cover back with sand. Tide slowly dissipates. Okay. And wherever there is ebb and flow, release of burned intention over time by water back and forth to earth and water.
Wow.
That's
Now,
good.
I have not been taking advantage of that for the past 20 years.
Do you live near the water? Do you
Oh,
live near the beach?
guess where I will be?
Yes. Okay, and Beth said that gives me an idea, Gerald. I want to spread out oracle cards after my tarot reading and use a bay leaf to choose a card. Okay. Jonathan said, I've heard of bay and mugwort under the pillow for prophetic and vivid dreams. Yes, mugwort would certainly do that. And Tony said protection, magnification, manifestation, banishing.
Cool.
Yes. And Peter J. Watt said, our bay laurel plant is 5 feet tall. I've been growing it for over 5 years. That is beautiful.
Wow. So, Peter, will it grow in Hawaii? How do you take care of it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Jonathan said, adding it to food for protection, health, and abundance for everyone who eats the food. Well, there you go. This is where we have where magic and cooking and magic and mundane can do it. If you add a bay leaf, which I do, and I'm always adding three of them as a minimum, I'm doing it to draw in those things, and I think it's a beautiful purpose, Jonathan. So, um, so
Oh,
writing on bay leaf, wow, that could, yeah, it is very powerful. Yep,
yes.
lakes, streams, ebb and flow. Peter J. Watt said, absolutely have to bring it in during winter.
You bring a
It would
5-foot
grow.
tree indoors in the winter time.
Have you met Peter? That shouldn't surprise you. Of course, Peter's going to do that.
That's awesome.
So, okay. Can you use bay leaves on your altar and with other magical items? Yes, and yes.
Listen.
Yes, and I think adding bay leaves when you're doing some sort of a ritual or a working, you could charge those bay leaves with that purpose for later use.
Ooh, charge them like the cinnamon thing or something else?
Yes, with something else. If you're doing a cleansing of some sort, a banishing, you could have those bay around. And then here's the thing, make sure you're very clear about the bay leaves and what you do with them afterwards, because you don't want to put them in your cooking bay leaves.
No.
So yeah, and Peter J. Watt said, much to Julie's chagrin, he's bringing the 5-foot tree in. Yeah.
Yeah. I like, if I burn something, I like to put the ashes in plants.
And that is a very good thing, because I'm glad you brought that up, because what I do is when I burn bay leaves, I actually have my cauldron. I will oftentimes light a tea, a tea light, whatever, a votive candle, whatever. And then I actually use tweezers to hold the bay leaf, because I do not want to be burned.
Mark?
But then I actually burn them over, and you can see in here, there's all sorts of ashes.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's also important to, I watch the bay leaf burn, because sometimes I can get messages about the working that I'm doing. Is it a slow burn? Is it a very fast burn? Is it a burning from the inside out? Is it an outside in? Is it one side and then it needs to be relit? That's something to pay attention to. By the way, this is, overcomplicator, overachiever. It's that you can add the layers to the magic that you want. And let me tell you, when I've done some healing for people and I've watched the bay leaves burn, it's interesting it's like, okay, this is not an issue. This is going to be addressed promptly. This is going to need some more attention. This aspect of that healing is because it's a slow burn, or it needs to be lit multiple times.
Okay.
So
that's cool. That's very cool.
I'll also, so there's that. Oh, and by the way, the ashes, by the way, putting them in a plant is a great way to recycle. What I do is because I use this, I will use this to create black salt, which will be a future thing for some banishing and protection. So, and this is I use this cauldron. It's always on my altar, and this is a Palo Santo if I need to do some other things. So,
sweet.
Okay, if anybody needs some bay leaves, I can hook you up. I hold them in tweezers, burn them outside, and allow the wind to take away any fine ash to bring in the magic or request.
Oh.
See, and this is, Tony, I am so glad you said that, because it's one of those things. It's each person has their own way of doing the magic, and it's that consistency. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I love the symbolism of the wind carrying it away. That's really
Yes.
cool.
And Beth has said, Betsy, according to Google, you can have a bay tree in Hawaii. I see posts from Maui discussing their bay trees, also many in pots.
Nice.
Lori Kramer said, I tried burning bay leaves and they had to be lit a few times. It could be what you're working on. It could be how you hold them. And a lot of times what I will do is I will, with the flame, I won't actually stick them in. I'll actually hold it above so that the heat will grow and do that. So Peter J. Watts said, I added a whole bunch of trimmed branches to my Cernunnos figure made out of branches. He's near the stone circle. That's cool.
That's cool.
Andrea said, I live in Santa Cruz, California, but maybe relocating to the Big Island. You live in a magical place too. Where in Hawaii are you? You're on Maui, correct?
Yeah, I'm on Maui. You might want to wait for the fog should be clear soon, but it's been pretty smoky over there. If you have respiratory stuff, Big Island, no, I'd go the other way. Maui, Oahu, or Kauai. They give lots of smoky air over there.
And Julie said they probably need to dry if they're not burning. Yeah, that's a good idea. And Tony said it's especially good when trying to remove or banish something, Betsy, to cathartically have it carried away on the element of air, thought, deed, communication.
I'm stealing that, Tony. Thank you.
Well, and this is that time when we magic is. I think magic can add more layers of magic to it if we keep in mind the other aspects to it. So, but yeah.
It's just.
And, all right, I'm looking for my other panel. So one of the other things you asked is that works. Can you carry bay leaves? Can you carry bay leaves with you like a medicine bundle? Yes. And the thing that I do is, the one thing that I do is, and I have this written down. By the way, there's a lot of information out there on YouTube. A lot of people who search for bay leaf magic, bay leaves, magical uses, those sorts of things. Do what you want with that. I do put bay leaves in my wallet for protection. When a tarot deck leaves my house to go with me somewhere, I have a bay leaf in it for protection. So they're very, very good for that.
Goodness. This is a wonderful day. I am having a blast today. Let me tell you.
Excellent. And so Lori Kramer said the oils in them also pop a lot. So maybe they weren't dry. Maybe, Lori, that could have happened. And Tony said writing on leaves and sending them away on water is nice for emotional healing if you like elemental working, Betsy.
Into my wallet it goes.
Into your wallet. Well, and there's the thing, and this is something that it doesn't need to stay a whole bay leaf. It can be, you can crumple the bay leaf up. I will actually put bay leaves under my mats, my car mats, for protection. So
here they take leaves from a tea plant and tie it onto the bumper.
And I think that then do that. Heck, if that's the local lore, I'd get somebody to do that for me. Please here.
This is great because I've seen lots of symbolism on the tailgates, especially of vehicles in the Hispanic community for protection. When I lived in Texas, and here they have the tea plant that they use, and it's TI. It's not like the drink of tea, for protection. So to have, again, something that translates into another culture, another use, it's heaven for me.
Yeah. Bay leaf in wallet with gold writing for abundance is good. Cedar, much like bay in terms of medicine. I can see that. Steal away, Tony. Also, the osea root, bear root, also magical. Andrea, that's great. So, Deb H, hello, she is packing lurking. That way you work with the local spirits if you do what is common in an area. And I actually think, it's like go and ask the locals for that. And I would totally make an exchange. What do you want to do this for me? And it's a fair exchange. You understand that magical exchange of power. So,
Yes.
and it shows a great deal of respect. I respect what you do, and this is good. Really love the plant energy being brought in. Yes, and she is packing lurking. So, okay. And Julie Kushawat said, while I was growing up, bay leaves were always put in soup, but I never knew they were so powerfully protective.
Yeah.
And now you know, and I would imagine the next time Julie is cooking for the family, she's going to be adding a couple of extra bay leaves. So it's like, boom.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Another question that you asked, Betsy, which is a beautiful question, is bay leaf equally powerful for manifesting and banishing? The short answer is yes. The long answer is yes.
The long answer is just go rewatch the last 45 minutes.
No. Well, but see, here's the thing: is because you had shared, that you burned a bay leaf at work, and it did exactly what you wanted it to do. And I think one of the important things is what is it that you're wanting to manifest or banish, and be careful of how you word it. Mm-hmm. Because if banishing means you don't want this person around you, then make it nicer for them to be somewhere else. Open up doorways for them to have wonderful experiences elsewhere. And I think that's extremely powerful. But imagine what would happen if every morning, as part of your morning routine, you were cleansing yourself in the shower, and you were wanting to, so because in the shower, and I'm making this up, you were washing off all of the things that do not serve you and hold you down, and then you wanted to shore up your natural resources and to give you a boost. Imagine if you intentionally put on that I am my strength, or I recognize my strengths and I use them, and you burned that every day for a full lunar cycle. What could that possibly do for you? It could make things great. That being said, it could also give you opportunities to learn some things, because your strength could be tested.
Yes.
So, does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Okay. So manifesting and banishing, absolutely. And they're both equally powerful. And Ginger Faye is here. Hello, Ginger Faye. Loving all the Bay stories. Good.
Hey, Ginger.
And Andrea said, caution, banish is close to shunning. That's why you need to be very careful of how you word it.
It's in the language, right? Because everything comes back in multiples.
Yep. Okay. Okay. And you had asked for an example of a ritual asking for spiritual support. I'm going to take a moment and take a sip. If anybody has any questions, people are watching, and I appreciate this. We're almost finished, but I want to take a peek at my notes.
Okay, and I'll clarify what my thinking behind this is. just like saying a prayer. I have in my clearing prayer before I do a session, mediumship session with anyone. I always say, um, Mother Goddess, Father God, thank you for being with us as you are with us always. So it's kind of acknowledging and a sign of respect, knowing that they're always there and just acknowledging their presence. And so
Mm-hmm.
for me, my thought on this one was just, um, I know you're with me always. Help support my awareness of that is kind of where I was going with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying, God's protect me.
Well, and I'll be honest with you. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with saying God's protect me.
Yes. Yes.
So Andrea said, perhaps a better way is a bless you on your way. Yep. Yeah. Thanks for visiting. Bye. Go home. Return to sender. You're out. Yeah. So, here's some other things to remember. Yes, you can use them as smudge. You can, because there's, I love this. My high priestess says this. There's nothing better in the morning than the smell of magic and bay. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful smell, I think. You can use them in spell jars, of course. And you had asked in where the original conversation is when not to use them. And I would say, don't use them when you're not sure of why you're using them. If you don't have clarity or it doesn't feel right, Betsy, your intuition's pretty good. You're pretty gifted at that. And if your intuition says, no, I shouldn't burn a bay leaf, then don't burn a bay leaf. So, yeah, send folks packing with bless you. Yep, instead of banish or shun. Absolutely. So I would create some sigils to this intention and draw them onto leaves in black for protection and use like sage. Burn them after saying or silent prayer. Absolutely.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. It clearly severs energy with no. A pen is a very good thing. And I think also, I think, for me, I do like using the tweezers when I'm burning because I don't want to burn my fingers, because I don't know how that leaf is going to burn, if it's going to go up very quickly or if it's going to be a slow burn. And so I want to pay attention to that. Okay, got that. I'm just wanting to be as complete as possible. Hi, Shadow King 431. Good to see you.
This has been a wonderful chat. I have really appreciated everyone's input and on how diverse the uses of this little bugger are and all the information. This has been fantastic. I really feel filled and buoyant.
Good. That is actually one of the reasons that I like doing this. So I'm glad you're here and asked the question. So if I were to, so spiritual support, and one of the things that I would do is usually when I'm burning bay leaves, this is Gerald's, for entertainment purposes only. This is what I do. Your mileage may vary. I actually, when I'm doing some magical working, I light a candle specifically for that magical working. Now, I have different candle holders for different types of workings. So I use that specific, I have one for healing that's used for any time I need to do healing. It's for that. If I need to, do empowering, I have a specific candle holder for that. And so I would light the candle with intention. Why is it that why am I doing this? And in this case, I am acknowledging the spiritual support that my guides provide me. I am recognizing you. I'm saying to them, and I'm saying this in the best way possible, I recognize you and I thank you. I know you're there even when I can't see you, but I know you're there and you're watching over me. So it's like you want to hug someone because they care for you. So okay, I want to catch up on chat. Tony uses colored inks to bring color magic in for extra boost. Yes. Seal with the ritual plant every on earth as it is in heaven, both realms. Yes, that works. And Jonathan asked me, do you have pens of different colors? I have heard that the most potent ink for magical crafting is blue ink because it's such a rare color. I have not paid that close attention to it. So I don't know the magical properties of that. But intuitively, I pick the color of ink just to use. So, Cardamancy Mesquite, lurking, hello. Do you use a specific pen for writing on bay leaves? I use a Sharpie, hashtag not endorsed, hashtag purchase responsibly. And I do it because it writes clearly. You can also do it with an ink pen, but my bay leaves are dry, so they'll break. And I don't want them to break that. Ordinary and non-ordinary reality. Thank you, Peter J. Watts. Doing magic. I think that's beautiful. Now I want to go get a pen with edible ink so that we can cook with a bay leaf that's been written on. So, hey, I'm so glad people have enjoyed this. So, okay, so, and then, so what, okay, Betsy, this is, we're talking, you, and you're creating a bit of a ritual. How many bay leaves would you want to burn?
Oi. Well, now that's going to complicate things because I will overcomplicate things very quickly. So for this particular one, I would want to burn one. Yes, I would want to burn one to show, to demonstrate that this is my gratitude and appreciation and respect for you. That this is me saying this to you. Mm-hmm. I would say one. I'm already twirling because when I say my prayers, I have a prayer that I do at work and it involves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people. Now that I don't know if I'm going to burn 9 leaves.
You could write all of those names or those symbols on a leaf. And Peter J. Watts said, I think I'll provide bay leaves and a pencil and or pen for my solstice ritual this weekend. Peter, that is a beautiful thing. If you have a bonfire and you're actually having people, they can write on a bay leaf what it is they want to release at this time of the year, what they hope to draw in, and then allow them to toss it in, and everyone can do that. And so we're then providing support for each other. I think that could be really wonderful. And in fact, that happens a lot when we get together. So yeah, you can also trace invisible words on things that you're going to eat.
You know, in my Chinese dramas that I'm addicted to, when they're sending a secret conversation, they will dip their finger into your water and write it on the table because it evaporates quickly. That's so cool.
Exactly. So then, okay, let's say at this point you've got one. You're going to burn one, and then I would say here. Let me. I'm going to light a candle. Give me just a second. So I have a candle lit, and oh, Peter says the solstice fire is the center of the ritual. Maybe after we add the Yule log, that would be incredible. I am glad that this is helping create percolate your energies. This is wonderful, and thank you, Jonathan, for getting the troll. And so, okay, so I'm going to show you how I would burn the bay leaf, and I would hold it like that. And by the way, sometimes I will pick a bay leaf that has chunks missing out of it based upon what the working is, if I want to heal something. So there you go. So, and so this is one of the things that I would do. I'm trying to match this. So one of the things that I would do is I actually allow, sometimes I put it this way, sometimes I put it this way. I'm going to put it this way. And I have it over the flame, and I'm watching for it to burn.
Wow.
And then I'm going to bend it like that, and then I'm going to let it go, and then I'm going to watch the bay leaf. Because in my mind, a bay leaf isn't completely burned until it's all ashes. Because in this, I don't know if you can see, you can't see it. But there is some, nope, you can't see it. There's actually still some fire going. Some of the sections are, there's some redness to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and then smell the smoke as it just, it's very refreshing for me. And I said, it smells like magic. And you can say things out loud while you're doing this. You can say things quietly. And Beth asked, did you drop that fiery bay leaf into a cauldron? Yes, I did. And then that way, all of the ashes are here because my intention is to create black salt for later use. And so
that was cool. That was a really lively little leaf burn.
Mm-hmm.
Very lively.
Yes. And so, and as I was doing this, I was actually, the thing I was thinking, I will share this. What I was thinking is I was appreciating all of the support that we are given spiritually that we may not see. And I was appreciating all of those guides. And so you notice is that it did burn from the outside in. And so therein also, I think, lies some beauty.
That's very cool.
So, okay. So we've had a lot of information. Let me get caught up on chat. Yes, burning to completion equals ashes. Absolutely. And by the way, burning to completion means allowing all of the magic to be completed, because if I'm drawing something to me, I want that to completely go out into the divine. I don't want anything left behind, and I don't want to interfere with it. So there could be that, as Tony so eloquently said earlier, allowing the wind to blow that remnants away of things that you want to release, really quite powerful. So you can also use bay leaves as incense. Yes, you can. Great as some sort of a smoke ritual, some sort of a smudging. And when I was actually working, I had bay leaves all around. I had them under crystals. I had my selenite in front of my computer, and underneath of that were like 3 crystals. So, I mean, it's pretty incredible. So, yeah, smiling. Talk about a guide party. There you go. Yep, any ingredients can be used for magical incense, and the bay leaves are great for this. So
Yeah, my gosh, this is wonderful. This has just been, yeah, just a great fun learning chat for me. I really appreciate everybody's efforts here and input. And yes, thank you, Gerald, so much for doing
you're
this.
welcome. And I want to encourage you to, burn bay leaves responsibly, do your research. And I think it's really wonderful to remember to take notes about what you've done and what you're noticing. Because for me, I do time things with the moon phases often. And that's a good thing to do. However, if you're not in the exact phase of the moon that is best for what you want to do, you can still burn a bay leaf. You can burn a bay leaf just because you need to adjust your attitude.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Do you have other questions for me? You're overwhelmed, aren't you? There's so many possibilities.
Yeah, I'm pretty full up at this moment. Yeah, yeah, just wonderful. I haven't done anything like this at all since I did live in Texas. I had some friends that did a lot of ritual and I learned a lot from, but I haven't done a whole lot since. And that was, I left Texas in 1999 or no, 2000, spring of 2000. So that's been a little bit.
Wow. Bay leaf and dragon's blood is a perfect for protection workings. Yes. Brian, Blushing Nerd Tarot, is officially on the Bay train now. This is awesome. And I think it really is. It's one of those things that if I'm feeling a little down and I need an adjustment, burning a bay leaf will do it. So
okay, I'm going to remember that.
So, and I think it's beautiful. So and Beth says, Betsy, I see you spinning a bit.
Yeah, there's just so much going on up in here right now.
So you're welcome, Andrea. Thank you for being here. And everybody, thank you for watching. This is great. In 2 weeks, don't forget, Betsy is coming back and we are doing a laugh and learn about shielding. And so it's a magic tool talk, and Chris Yao will be here as well. Friday, I'm going to be on Richie's channel. And then long stash readings or Yule readings are Monday. And
Ooh.
Amy from Mystic Rose Tarot will be with me and Richie. And then next Tuesday is Back and Forth with Jamie and Gerald. And that is where Jane the Seeker Tarot is going to be asking the questions. So, attitude adjustment. I need to burn a bushel. Start with one, Ginger Faye. Start with one.
Yeah, good advice.
So,
yeah,
I'm going to get a jar of bay next time I hit up Costco. And yeah. So
yeah, I'm gonna, yeah, I'm fixing to jump on Amazon. So,
well, and I think it's one of those things that use what you have and try it out.
Yeah.
And so, and Deb H said Tuesday is my moving day. Yay! So she'll watch the playback. And Lori Kramer said, thank you everyone for all the information. Thank you, Betsy, for asking about this. And thanks, Gerald, for holding space for this discussion. Well, absolutely.
Yes.
So I love it. I love it. So, all right, everybody. Thank you very much. And with that, I think we'll head off. So thanks for watching. Bye.